You notice in the Parsha, by the way, this period of Shovavim is a very tough period because we're again reliving the Egyptian exile and also the Egyptian exodus. It's reflected in that person feels a lot of constrictions in life, a lot of feelings of failure and futility, God forbid, and frustration for sure, and confusion. And our goal is to have Moshe Rabbeinu, the Tzaddik, take us out again of our personal Egypt. So an amazing point, you look very carefully in the Parsha. It's amazing. The Parsha begins that then Hashem, like he's rebuking after the end of Shemot, then Moshe was complaining to Hashem, why you send me? The Jews are not listening to me, and I just went to, so he didn't say the Jews are not listening to me, but he said, I went to Paro and Paro made it even worse. So Hashem had regrets, where's the simple, straightforward faith of Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov? I missed that faith that they had, that I said something, and even though they saw a contradiction, which was part of the test, still they kept going. So not to belittle Moshe Rabbeinu's greatness, but that was the initial test according to his level. And then it says that Moshe Rabbeinu then went to fulfill the shlichut, the job that he was sent by Hashem to do. He went to tell the Jewish people, the Parsha says, that Hashem's going to take you out of this suffering and bondage of Egypt and to bring you to a land flowing with milk and honey. And it says in the Parsha that Velo shamu el Moshe mekotzer ruach u'me'avoda kasha, that the Jews didn't listen, or they could not listen to Moshe Rabbeinu because of a lack of breath, because they were working so hard they couldn't have time to even take a sigh. In other words, the expression of overstressed, overburdened, u'me'avoda kasha, and hard work. They were so into the constriction of Egypt. Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them, you're going to be freed, you can be freed. It didn't go in, it didn't sink in. It went in one ear, went out the other ear. And then Moshe Rabbeinu tells Hashem, the Jews didn't listen to me, so Kal Vachomer, how is Paro going to listen to me? If the Jews didn't listen to me, all the more so Paro, who's the evil guy, he's not going to listen to me. And his wording was, Moshe Rabbeinu, Ki kvad pe anochi va'aral sfatayim. I have a foreskin as if on my mouth, I can't talk, and kvad lashon, kvad pe, I'm stuttering, it's a heavy language. Then Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, that's the case, so I'm going to send you Aharon, who's going to be your melitz. He's going to be like your interpreter, and he's the one who's going to speak on your behalf to Paro and to the Jewish people. So here we see something amazing. We mentioned this in the past classes recently, that a tzaddik as great as Moshe Rabbeinu, he needs an interpreter. He needs an interface between him and the people. The tzaddik, his words are lofty. His words are great. I need to hear his words. I need to connect. But a disciple is needed to a certain degree to bring down the teachings of a tzaddik, the words of a tzaddik, that the layman, the average person, can understand them. That's why a talmid, who's someone who understands the teachings of a tzaddik on a different level. You have two people listening to the tzaddik in the audience. You have a disciple of the tzaddik already, and you have people who are newcomers, newbies. So the way the disciple perceives what the tzaddik is saying, and the way the layman perceives is totally different, because the disciple understands better. In this case, Aharon, being from the tribe of Levi, and as we know, the tribe of Levi were not subjugated to slavery. That time to learn, the ability and time to learn Torah while in Egypt, while in exile, because they weren't subjugated in the slavery that all the other Jews were. So they had a clear head perspective, so that Aharon, being the chief prophet of the Jewish people, also one of the top tzaddikim at the time in Egypt, aside from his father Amram, there was Aharon, who was the top prophet, being a Kohen also, right? From the lineage of Kohanim, ultimately. So Aharon, when hearing the words of Moshe Rabbeinu, was better able to grasp it, but because he's still not at the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, he was, as a disciple in a sense, he made himself like a disciple towards his brother, his younger brother Moshe Rabbeinu. He was able to bring down the words of Moshe Rabbeinu, so it could be understood by Paro, understood by the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.